That was Malcom X being interviewed in the 1960s. If you, Tammy, could talk more about his childhood and who his parents were before his father died, talking about their Garveyite philosophy, who Marcus Garvey was, how that influenced him and them.
Well, his parents met in Montreal at a Garvey meeting, a Universal Negro Improvement or UN Association or UNIA meeting in Montreal, and they met and they were attracted to the Garvey movement, the group, and they were members and they were attracted to each other. They got married and they settled in Philadelphia, and they were members of the organization. And what they liked about it is, you know, Earl was kind of in a way run out of Georgia and really told by his father, you should leave, because Earl's very proud, very strong-willed, and he did not respond well to Jim Crow South environment. And, you know, and he was he was confronting white people all the time, and this was problematic for his family. So even his father was saying, you know, maybe you should leave, you know, the South. Maybe you should not be down here. And so Earl left, and, you know, and he went up to Philadelphia, he went up to Montreal, he was working, he was a carpenter. And so he met Louise Langdon in Montreal. They got married. They started having kids. And what they were attracted to was this, you know, what Marcus Garvey was preaching and what his whole movement was about, which was about pride in being Black and accepting who we are and rising up to thrive as Black people and embracing us and not excusing it, not shying away from it, and not, you know, and accepting what, you know, the society was trying to have us believe, that we cannot compete, we cannot succeed, and providing a society and thriving in their own communities, like Black communities, build up your own businesses. And Earl also, what he and Louise would do is they moved out to Omaha to start setting up other chapters of the UNIA. And she worked for, you know, as a recording secretary. She wrote some articles in the newspaper. He was organizing other, you know, Black families, and he would go not just in the towns that they were in, but to other towns not far away. And so he was organizing. And so and let's also understand, like, Louise was more educated than Earl was, but Earl was very charismatic, and he was very good at relating to people and organizing. And Louise was more educated in that she was more interested in helping in her children and conditioning them into accepting their Blackness. She did not accept Negro. She did not want them to accept being called Negro. She always referred themselves as Blacks. She spent time singing to them in French, but she also spent a lot more time conditioning them. And when they would come home and talk about when they lived in Lansing, for example, talking about how white kids would chide them and call them out of their names, and use the N-word, calling them nigger, and they would complain about that, and she would tell them and train them on how to deal with that, and how to not internalize that, but also not, you know, you have to fight everybody every time somebody says that, but you can also let them know that they're not getting to you, because that is not who you are. That is really a reflection on them. And so she really imbued them with that, their Blackness, their pride. And Earl showed them, he helped them with their work ethic. He would get up early, he would set up the household, wake everybody up, get everybody started with their chores. And, you know, it was these two people, Earl and Louise, were very hardworking people and supportive of their family and very strong-willed and very close-knit with their kids.
Pas arriver 3 femmes sur le lieu.
Mais je peux comprendre qu'il pourrait y avoir un mix, là. Une femme accompagnée d'un homme policier. Mais en même temps, je suis plus fort que moi, il faut que je le mentionne, ça n'arrive pas toutes les semaines, là. Je sais que vous l'avez dit, je sais que vous avez dit que c'était prévisible, mais c'est quand même un petit pourcentage, là.
Okay.
Il y en a combien qui réussissent? On n'en parle pas. On fait le reproche quand ça arrive 1 fois par 10 ans ou 2 fois.
2 sur 3 ont été envoyés à l'hôpital.
Oui, oui, dans un même événement, exactement.
Dans un même événement avec un seul homme.
Exact.
José, c'est que il y a quelques années, il y avait eu une publication à Montréal à l'effet que la liste des personnes compensées par la CNESST s'était allongée dramatiquement. J'ai jamais été capable de découvrir le ratio homme-femme.
Fait qu'on pourra en discuter quand les données seront sorties. Mais en attendant, c'est de la présomption.
Alors, cachez les données le plus longtemps possible. Parlant de situation, c'était prévisible. Le Canada ne fabrique pas de vaccins. Je vous avais prédit, il y a une couple de mois, que les vaccins vont rentrer au compte-gouttes. Il n'y en a même pas qui rentrent. Et l'Europe va retenir les vaccins qu'elle fabrique. Les États-Unis vont retenir les vaccins qu'elle fabrique. Alors, chers amis, il va vous rester le Sputnik russe puis le Sinovac chinois. Entre nous autres, ce matin, je prends une position. Le vaccin chinois, j'en veux pas. J'en ai assez des chinoiseries. Est-ce que j'ai le droit, sans être traité de raciste? Les cossins de la Chine, j'en ai assez. Je recommande d'interdire toute nourriture qui vient de Chine. Je recommande qu'on cesse d'acheter tous les biens fabriqués en Chine et je recommande qu'on saisisse tous les avoirs de la République populaire de Chine dans notre pays pour se dédommager des dommages causés par le virus chinois. Alors, je ne commencerai pas à accepter un vaccin chinois. No Jesus way. Il y a une couple de mois que les vaccins vont rentrer au compte-gouttes. Il n'y en a même pas qui rentrent. Et l'Europe va retenir les vaccins qu'elle fabrique. Les États-Unis vont retenir les vaccins qu'elle fabrique. Alors, chers amis, il va vous rester le Sputnik russe puis le Sinovac chinois. Entre nous autres, ce matin, je prends une position. Le vaccin chinois, j'en veux pas. J'en ai assez des chinoiseries. Est-ce que j'ai le droit, sans être traité de raciste? Les cossins de la Chine, j'en ai assez. Je recommande d'interdire toute nourriture qui vient de Chine. Je recommande qu'on cesse d'acheter tous les biens fabriqués en Chine et je recommande qu'on saisisse tous les avoirs de la République populaire de Chine dans notre pays pour se dédommager des dommages causés par le virus chinois. Alors, je ne commencerai pas à accepter un vaccin chinois. No Jesus way.